On live.
Good morning, everyone out of the blocks. How's this weather? It's bloody nuts out there, isn't it? James, how are you this morning?
Good morning. Yeah, it's a bit cold and depressing, but not nice early start to my Monday. Good start to the week, so it's all good. How are you?
Good, buddy. So we're going to talk this morning about starting in real estate. Now, you've got, thanks for joining the show, and you've got a lot of experience very recently. You've started Novak, and I wanted to talk a little bit with our audience about getting into real estate, what people should expect to get into real estate, that first 90 days of real estate, the highs, the lows, what you learn, what you don't learn, where the struggles are, and all that stuff. Because I guess a lot of people would consider getting into the business. They don't know where to start. They don't know what to expect, but you've just done it. So I thought it'd be great to have you on the show and go through the what you experience and stuff like that with starting. So right now, what are you doing at Novak?
Right, so 6 months down the line, it's almost 6 months in now. My main role is commercial leasing, and sort of doing a little bit of BDM sort of work at the same time, which has been really good. So I've been quite fortunate in that in the time I've spent with you guys here, I've actually done a lot of different roles. I think I was thinking about last night, 5 or 6 different jobs in the space of 6 months. So yeah, it's been pretty open. Lots of training across different parts. So it's been busy.
Okay, let's go back to that initial seed of like, I think I want to get into real estate. So let's go back to 6 months ago, 7 months ago even. What
Yep.
And I want to try to relate this to people that are considering getting to real estate, and anyone in the audience who's watching. If you have any questions for James or myself, just throw them out. I'll read them out for James and answer them for you. Tell me, what made you actually get into real estate? What was the inspiration there to say, look, I'm going to be a real estate guy?
It's a bit of an interesting one for myself because I spent half of my life growing up in the UK, hence the posh British accent that I'm stuck with now. So I always knew I wanted to come back to the Northern Beaches, having lived in Newport growing up as a kid. And I was always the type of person who never knew what he wanted to do and what direction he was going to take in. So my background was heavily sport-based. I played tennis at a high level and I coached tennis at a pretty high level. And I sort of followed through tennis and education as the path that I thought seemed right. But there were, after a couple of years of uni and, going through my studies and my whole tennis playing background, I really was looking at a bit of a short game instead of the long game, I think, for the most part. So coming into real estate just before COVID, actually, quite interestingly, it's certainly settled everything down for me quite a lot. And it's
So why real estate though? Why did you go, okay, look, that's what I want to do? What was the attraction?
Okay, the attraction was initially from the other side of the world, looking back and thinking, how am I going to get onto the Northern Beaches and what am I going to do there that's going to be an enjoyable career? And yeah, I think for a long time it was in the back of my mind, and yeah, it just took one freak day where I woke up and the inspiration came. Lots of conversations to change my career and what I was going to do with myself. And real estate, it's on the surface, it's quite an interesting industry to try and move into. So as you were saying, without knowing much about it on the surface, it opened my eyes in the first week of being here and how deep and how much complexity there is to it.
Let me just say g'day to a couple of people. G'day, Paul Chwala, you legend. G'day to Nikki Parker, Andrew Cole. How are you guys? Amal, how are you, legend? So from the outside, tell me what were the things that you thought, yeah, that's why I want to go real estate over any other business?
I saw it as something that was less structured, as opposed to sort of the structured background of coaching and education where everything is set in stone. With real estate, and what I've definitely learned in the last 6 months is that there's no structure to it whatsoever. Every single day is totally different. And you coined the term or use the term chaos and order quite often. And the previous industry was very, very much order based, and there are parts of chaos and order in real estate, but I think the chaos side probably suits a bit better to my personality. So yeah, it's been interesting in that respect.
So getting a job, how did you get a job in real estate? How hard was it?
I
Or
got
how
pretty,
easy was it?
oh, how easy. No, I got pretty lucky. Look, I did my certificate of reg, and I thought I'm going to be proactive. I'm going to try and walk down all the high streets or all the main areas and hand in my CV. And I went to about 10 or 15 different real estate agents, and I went and caught up with one of my buddies, and his parents happened to know you, had a phone call with you, and then came in the next day. And yeah, lucky enough to be coming back from after that. So I didn't find it too difficult. Yeah, I got quite lucky. It sort of fell into place quite nicely for me, I suppose.
Awesome. So first day of real estate.
Yep. First day.
Tell us about that.
First day, I get put with Branka. So for anyone that knows Branka, she's like a superwoman in the office, but she's the senior property manager. She's been here for 12 or 14 years. So I was with her and just under her belt for the first day and for the first week. So that's pretty much just watching and helping out with property management type of things, really. So yeah, that was certainly the entry in. Try to see if I can impress Branko whatsoever. And yeah, lo and behold, I think I managed to do that. So yeah, she kept me on, which was great. And then here we are.
And so what sort of jobs would you know, in that first day, in that first week, not knowing anything about real estate, were you given to do?
Look, it's a lot of admin based sort of stuff to start off with. I think it was just to see how productive you can be and how you stay on task and how well you can organize yourself. So look, a lot of it was, as I say, property management. It would have just been doing odd bits and bobs or making phone calls or, you know, chasing arrears or doing things like that, you know, property managers are doing every other day. So yeah, I think it would start off like that, just trying to learn some of the processes and some of the pathways on the system, because it is quite complex and there's a lot to come to understand. So I suppose that was really the start, just trying to get a grounding and a basis of how the software works, how to use it, how it's beneficial, and yeah, how we implement it into everything we do.
So for anyone who's just tuning in, we're talking about the first 90 days, hence the athlete coming out of the starting blocks behind my head. We're talking about James Lamplough's first 90 days in real estate. And James, within that period, when did you actually gel and go, mate, this is for me? When did you actually, when was the click?
So it's an interesting one to try and answer. I think that it only took maybe 4 or 5 weeks to feel that. I started off doing this property management stuff with Branka, and then I moved over and helped Cleo, one of the other senior property managers, and then I got shipped over again from that sort of PM leasing to more of the commercial leasing and a little bit of residential leasing with another gentleman called Praveen. And look, I got on really well with all of the people I worked with from the beginning. So it didn't take long at all to feel comfortable. It's more the people around you. And we've got quite a big team here of 40 or so people. So yeah, I don't think at any point in that first week or first month was I feeling awkward or uncomfortable. It was just like, yeah, I can see this working here. I can see myself enjoying being here for a long time. So yeah, starts
and
off.
what was the shittest part of your first 90 days?
Shittest part of my first 90 days. Look, I don't know if there was any. Like you take it as it comes, but just getting used to the intensity of the ferocious speed that's worked at this office. That's probably the most difficult thing. Just getting used to that. Yeah, that serious grind, which you do it in different ways in different industries. So it's probably just the initial hurdle of getting used to what you're doing and trying to feel a bit more confident in it. And then, yeah, it all started to flow quite organically, I think.
So that was the hardest bit. Just get that. It was like, shit, this is fast. This is moving. I need to move.
There's a lot. a lot of information to take in a short amount of time, and that's fine. But that's the sort of time where it can make or break you, I think, where you can get overwhelmed by it, or you can just try and keep it cool and stay organized and try and stay on top of things. And, you know, it's not a job that you can just finish at 5:30 every single day. You've got to, you put in what you get out what you put in rather. And if you're not doing it, it's going to build up. So staying on top, being organized, and yeah, certainly watching people around you and how they organize and manage their time was quite important for me to see and to try and adapt to.
Couple of questions. Comment here from Luke Rona, hustle daily. I feel the need for speed. Nikki Parker says, do you need to do any course?
You do. So your entry level into real estate is your certificate of registration. And now, as of the 23rd of March this year, I think there might have been some delays to it, but you've also got to do your license within 4 years as well. So there's no more just doing a certificate of registration and cruising for 10 years. You've got to continue your education and your personal development to stay in the industry.
Paul said, congratulations, well done. So, so to sign off, so going through those 90 days, started, thought about it, got in, moving fast. Yes, this is for me. Within the 90 days of real estate, so we've talked about your favorite, you talked about your not favorite. Any other observations people from out of the business wouldn't maybe potentially know?
I'm not sure. It's as I say, there's not a lot of structure. Every day is very different. So if you're the type of person that doesn't enjoy anything that becomes repetitious, it's certainly an industry that keeps you on your toes. So I've really enjoyed that side of things. So no, it's the type of thing where something new comes your way every single day, and you try and manage your time as best you can and be as productive throughout. So I'm still learning to do that, and it's coming. But no, from the surface outside in, I think it's a very exciting industry, and once you get into it, I think that excitement just develops further.
Favorite staff member in the office that's not me?
Look, I don't know how to answer that. There's so many people. Zach and Milosh are good boys. I get on well with everyone, Mark. So I don't.
The lads.
The lads. You got to say the lads, but no, I get on. Yeah, I get on well with people. So.
Favorite customers that you've met in the last 90 days, or the first 90 days, the memorables? Look,
there've been a couple that, you know, I'm actually like sort of still in touch with a little bit. People that you speak to, and they almost become friends or mentors, or they just show an interest into what you're doing. And I think that's because I've built good relationships with them. So there's a couple people. Nicholas Pav, I know he watches the Morning Minutes sometimes. Nicholas Pav, you're a good man. I'll see you again soon. And there's been a couple good clients, and I'm sure there's plenty more to come.
But are there ones that you absolutely you think to yourself, I never knew that animal existed, or that guy's hilarious? Or is there any or the memorable ones? Are there any because I guess, staff, it's fun, we're all hanging out on each other, but there must be some customers that you go, no way.
For both sides, for the good and for the bad. I think you see the great side of some people, and sometimes, unfortunately, you don't always see the best side of some people as well. So that's fine. Often it's to do, when money comes into the equation, and obviously that's the center of what we're doing is finance. Is people can get sensitive, and there can be interesting things come out of that. So I don't know.
Most uncomfortable moment you've had in 90 days?
Most uncomfortable moment I've had in 90 days was at the very beginning, and someone thought he was coming in to sign a lease agreement, and he didn't provide banking statements and all the rest of it. And this gentleman was in a really bad situation, and I had to say to him, no, I'm sorry, we can't lease this property to you. And I don't even know what he was doing that evening to have a roof over his head. So that broke my heart a little bit, because it was upsetting to turn someone down and sort of see that side of it. But I think you've also got to have that. You've got to be able to draw the line, which learning to do a little bit better now as well, rather than just being a softie. You've got to be a little bit more firm with things. So that was probably the worst one. I lost sleep over that for a day or two. But yeah, come back stronger.
James Lampllough, 90 days in real estate, what it looks like. Hopefully this has helped some people out there if they're considering getting into real estate, or what the life of real estate looks like starting. Mate, thank you. Any questions at all? You got any questions?
Oh, do you really want to go there? What's it been like to have me for the last 6 months?
Entertaining. Entertaining.
Because it must be frustrating employing someone who is absolutely, starting from scratch. There must be those frustrations from, within the last 6 months that, I don't know.
Yeah, look, it's learning for me as well. So I think, with people like yourself and questioning why we do something, and sometimes we've been doing it for so long, it's not needed to be done anymore. And so I get inspired because it's like, oh shit, actually that's another angle. Haven't looked at that angle, but certainly you've been. We sit together. If anyone doesn't know, we sit next to each other. You have been asking a lot of bloody questions, but you don't ask them twice. So that's really good, because I love answering them when you see those questions, those answers get traction. It's very frustrating as a trainer or manager when we're just walking in circles and having the same conversations and the same issues. But it's been great watching your growth, and particularly from my point of view, like, guys and girls, keep an eye out on this guy, because I guarantee you the future's bright, and head down, bum up. I think it's probably come from your tennis background, that repetition, once you can get good habits, and you are just forming good habits in the last 3 to 6 months, that's all. But once those good habits get repetition, then that's a beautiful place.
That's right. It's all coming together now. It's feeling like there's less uncertainty and more that I can accomplish on my own without having to ask these questions now. So 6 months down the line, it feels like that's slowly fizzling out. Although I know my type of personality, I'm inquisitive anyway. I'm always going to ask questions. But certainly gained a lot of confidence in 6 months to move further forward from here, from what I've been doing, and try and leave my mark on the industry somehow in the future if I can.
Cool. Well, that's a take. That's a show. And just to keep up with news with Michael Berger, went in for spinal surgery on Friday. All is well. He's in ICU and he's healthy. And it sounds like it all went really well, actually. So love to Mr. Michael Bergio.
That's right.
All right, mate. You take care.
All right. Thanks, Mark. Have a good day today, mate.
All right, mate. You too.
Cheers,
See you, everyone.
Thank
you for everyone watching. Michelle, how are you?
How do I get off this, Mark?
I'm not going to tell you. You're going to look really bad for ages.
Oh, no.
I'm going to leave you hanging, buddy. I'm going to leave you. I got 3 buttons on the bottom.
Oh, gotcha. I panicked. It's because I've
moved.
You did.
I should have left you hanging for longer.
Far out.
Zoom 3 buttons.
I got it.
Stop live feed.
There we are.
See you, everyone.
People.
Bye.